You feel it before you can explain it. It's late at night. You're staring at your phone. Her name is still pinned. Your last message is sitting there, delivered. No real warmth, no real energy, just a dry reply that feels colder than the actual words. And now your chest is tight. Did I do too much? Did I say something wrong? Is she losing interest? Am I just imagining this? Why does this always happen right when I start caring? Here's the truth most men completely miss. She usually doesn't detach all at once. She detaches in phases, quietly, emotionally, gradually, long before the relationship status changes or the texts fully stop. And you're not crazy for feeling it. This isn't about you being weak. This isn't about you being broken. Most guys go through this exact confusion, man, and nobody ever explains what this phase actually looks like. By the end of this video, you're going to know the 5 signs she's slowly detaching, what they really mean beneath the surface, and how to read the shift without panicking, chasing, or humiliating yourself. Let's get into it. Most guys believe detachment starts when she stops replying. But the real truth is, detachment starts much earlier than that. It starts in her nervous system. It starts in her energy. It starts the moment something inside her begins to pull back, even if her words still sound normal. That's the part nobody talks about. Most guys are trained to focus on behavior only. Texts, response time, emojis, plans, labels. But women don't just react to logic. They react to how they feel around you. She senses pressure before you say it directly. She feels emotional distance before she can fully name it. Her gut tells her something is off long before she sits down and explains it in words. And here's the thing. When a woman is emotionally leaning in, she feels open, curious, warm, receptive. Even small moments carry weight. But when she starts detaching, her energy shifts first. She feels a wall go up. Not always because you did one terrible thing, sometimes because the vibe changed. Sometimes because your presence stopped feeling grounded. Sometimes because attraction got replaced by tension, predictability, or emotional heaviness. That's why trying harder often makes it worse. Most guys think more effort fixes distance. More texting, more checking in, more explaining, more chasing clarity. But emotional attraction doesn't grow through force. It grows through emotional safety, freedom, and genuine presence. The second she feels like every interaction comes with pressure, her instincts start whispering, "Something feels heavier now." And that whisper matters. Because detachment is rarely loud. It's subtle. It's in the pauses, the tone, the missing warmth, the effortless things that suddenly feel like work. So if you learn to catch this phase early, you stop reacting like most guys. You stop begging for reassurance. You stop making it worse. You start reading what she feels, and that changes everything. 1. Her warmth turns functional. This is usually the first crack. Most guys only notice when communication drops, but the deeper sign is when her warmth disappears before her presence does. She still replies, she still answers, she still technically shows up, but the energy is gone. That matters because women attach emotionally through felt experience, not just contact. If she used to bring softness, playfulness, curiosity, and now everything feels flat, her emotional investment is already shifting. She doesn't feel pulled in anymore. She feels like she's managing the interaction instead of enjoying it. That's the difference. Not rude, not dramatic, not a fight, just emotionally neutral. And neutral can be dangerous, bro, because it often means the connection is no longer feeding her emotionally. Her brain stops getting that little spark. That "I want more" feeling gets replaced by "I'll respond because I should." Here's a real example. Before, you text, "Made it home?" and she says, "Yeah, haha, just got in. Still laughing about what you said earlier." Now you text the same thing, and she says, "Yeah." Same contact, different emotional temperature. Most guys mishandle this by focusing on frequency instead of feeling. They think, well, she still replied, so we're good. No, man. A conversation without warmth is like a fire with no heat. It looks alive from far away, but up close, nothing is burning. And here's where it gets interesting. When a woman is still into you, even simple exchanges feel effortless. When she's detaching, the interaction becomes administrative. She's not leaning in, she's clearing notifications. In her head, it starts sounding like this: "I don't feel the same pull anymore." And when that happens, she stops experiencing you as magnetic. She starts experiencing you as background. That's the shift most guys miss. And when you miss it, you keep acting normal while she's already emotionally halfway out. 2. She stops bringing you into her inner world. This is the one most guys completely miss. Most guys think attraction is about how she responds to your attention. But a stronger sign is whether she volunteers her world without being asked. When a woman feels emotionally connected, she shares naturally. Random thoughts, strange stories, tiny details. The coworker who annoyed her, the song she had on repeat, the dumb thing her cousin said at dinner. The little emotional breadcrumbs that make you feel like you're inside her real life. That's intimacy. Not sex, not labels, not good morning texts. Real emotional inclusion. But when she starts detaching, she stops offering that access. She becomes harder to read, less expressive, more private. Not because she suddenly hates you, but because she no longer feels the impulse to emotionally bring you closer. Her energy starts folding inward. Most guys mishandle this by interrogating. What's wrong? Why are you being weird? Why don't you tell me anything anymore? Another pressure makes her pull back faster. Because now she doesn't just feel distant, she feels monitored. But here's what changes everything. A woman opens when she feels safe, not cornered. She shares when connection feels genuine, not extracted. The moment every conversation starts feeling like an emotional audit, her gut says, I don't want to do this right now. Real life example. Before, she sends you a voice note out of nowhere. I'm so done with today. Also, I saw a dog in sunglasses and immediately thought of you. Now, after hours of silence, you ask how her day was. She says, fine, busy. Most guys hear busy. You need to hear the wall. She's not just saying less. She's inviting less closeness. And here's the thing. Conversation isn't a performance. It's a dance. When she stops stepping toward you emotionally, you feel the rhythm disappear even if the music is still technically on. In her mind, the thought becomes, I just don't feel like opening up to him. That's not a small change. That's emotional withdrawal. And when you understand that, you stop chasing words. You start reading energy. Because when she no longer wants to share her inner world, she no longer feels emotionally at home with you. 3. Your effort starts creating resistance. This one hurts. Because your instinct is usually good. You care more, so you try more. You text better. You reassure more. You become more available. You try to fix the vibe. Most guys think that's loyalty. But the real truth is, when a woman is slowly detaching, extra effort often doesn't feel romantic to her. It feels heavy. Not because effort is bad, but because effort without emotional reciprocity feels like pressure. She senses that you're trying to pull the connection back into place, and her body resists being managed. That's the psychological trap. Most guys believe attraction grows when you prove more. But attraction often dies when your care starts carrying need. Not strong interest. Not genuine attention. Not consistent masculine presence. Need. That quiet emotional weight that says, "Please give me certainty so I can relax." And women feel that instantly. Your energy is the message before your mouth even opens. If your texts are technically calm but emotionally loaded, she still feels it. If your actions are generous but secretly trying to secure her, she still feels it. Her instincts pick up what your words try to hide. Here's a contrast. Wrong approach. "Hey, just checking if we're okay. You've seemed off. I just don't want this to get weird. If I did something, tell me." Right approach. "Hope your week's going smooth. Let's catch up when the vibe makes sense." One tries to force clarity. The other stays grounded. One says, "Regulate me." The other says, "I'm calm either way." And that difference is massive, man. Because when a woman feels emotional pressure, her brain starts saying, "I don't have room for this." But when you stay calm, present, and unshaken, she feels space again. She feels like she can breathe. She feels your strength without you announcing it. That's not a trick. This is who you're becoming. And when you do that, she feels the absence of pressure, which is often the first moment she can actually feel you again. 4. She stops investing in the small things. Here's the part nobody talks about. Big gestures are overrated. Small investments tell the truth. Most guys watch for dramatic signs, a canceled date, a breakup talk, a full ghost. But women often detach long before that by quietly stopping the little efforts that once came naturally. She stops remembering details. She stops circling back to things you said. She stops asking follow-up questions. She stops creating tiny moments of connection. And those small things matter, because emotional attachment lives in the micro movements, the random meme, the "this reminded me of you," the extra question, the playful jab, the little hooks that say, "You're in my head even when you're not here." That's emotional caffeine for her brain. When it disappears, so does momentum. Most guys mishandle this by doubling down on performance. They try to become more entertaining, more impressive, more available. But detachment isn't solved by spectacle. It's revealed by the lack of mutual investment. Real example. Before, you mention you have a stressful meeting on Thursday. Thursday night, she texts, "How'd the meeting go? You were stressing about it." Later, in the detachment phase, you mention something important again. She doesn't ask, doesn't return to it, doesn't seem to hold your world in her attention. That's not just forgetfulness. That's reduced emotional presence. And here's the thing. Not compliments, not flirting, not even chemistry. Attention is one of the clearest forms of care. When a woman is emotionally engaged, she tracks you. Not in a clingy way, in a genuine way. Her mind naturally tags the details because you matter inside her emotional landscape. When she's detaching, that effortless tracking fades. Her brain is no longer going, "I wonder how that thing went for him." It's going quiet. In her head, it sounds like, "He's just not taking up that kind of space in me anymore." That's hard to hear, but it's real. And when you notice the small investments disappearing, you stop getting hypnotized by occasional crumbs. You stop overvaluing a random late-night text. You start seeing the deeper pattern. Because when she stops investing in the little things, she no longer feels emotionally tethered to the connection. 5. Silence starts feeling different. This is the final one, and it's subtle. Because silence by itself means nothing. A woman can be busy, tired, overwhelmed, in her own head. Not every pause is a problem. But detached silence feels different. Most guys think silence is just about time. How many hours? How many days? But the deeper truth is that silence has a texture, a vibe, a meaning. Interested silence still feels alive. Detached silence feels dead. When she still feels connected, even a gap has softness in it. There's usually an easy return, a warmth when she comes back, a sense that life happened, but the thread is still there. When she's detaching, the silence feels cold, fragmented, off. Like the connection keeps needing to be restarted from zero. That matters because attraction has rhythm. Silence between words is like silence between musical notes. That's where the rhythm lives. But if the silence turns awkward, uncertain, and emotionally empty, the song is falling apart. Most guys mishandle this by panicking. Double text, triple text, passive-aggressive joke. Weird, okay, you could have just said you're not interested. That reaction rarely helps. Why? Because now she doesn't just feel distance, she feels drama attached to distance. And her gut says, "Yep, this is exactly why I was pulling back." Here's the contrast. Wrong approach. "You've been quiet all day. If you're done, just say that." Right approach. You give space. You stay calm. You let her reveal the truth through pattern, not pressure. Maybe later you say, "You seem a little elsewhere lately." No pressure, just noticing the shift. That's clean. That's grounded. That's real. Not denial, not neediness, not pretending not to care. Just calm awareness. And that kind of presence changes the whole frame. Because even if she is detaching, you keep your self-respect. You don't collapse into chasing. You don't turn confusion into self-abandonment. You let reality show itself. In her mind, when a man reacts with panic, she thinks, "This is getting emotionally messy." But when you stay steady, even in uncertainty, she feels your center. She feels that you can handle reality without performing, pleading, or forcing. And whether she comes closer or not, that energy is powerful. That's the shift. Because detached silence isn't dangerous just because she's quiet. It's dangerous because most guys expose their weakest habits inside it. You don't have to. So what's the real upgrade here? It's not just learning 5 signs. It's becoming the kind of man who can feel a shift without losing himself inside it. The kind of man who reads energy clearly, stays grounded under uncertainty, and never begs for clarity from someone who's already emotionally leaving. This isn't about memorizing a list. It's about becoming more honest, more calm, more real. When you internalize this, you stop chasing mixed signals and start trusting what's in front of you. And that changes your whole mindset. Because now you're not just reacting to women. You're understanding dynamics. You're understanding presence. You're understanding what detachment actually feels like before it becomes rejection. And once you see it, you move differently. You stop over-explaining. You stop forcing. You stop trying to revive something with pressure that only honesty and emotional freedom can reveal. Here's the line I want you to remember. Stop chasing the signal. Start becoming the man who can read it and remain calm. That's where your power is. And if you want the next step, if you want to know exactly how to respond when she pulls back without looking needy, cold, or confused, then the next video is for you. Because spotting the detachment is one thing, responding like a grounded man is another. I'll see you there.